messaged me this week asking me about my morning routine. And it's really quite intense. So even though I answered a little bit on the email, I said that I would go through it on an episode. So guys, I'm going to back it up. You know by now that for a long time in my life, I suffered with anxiety. And for me, the mornings were always worse. So it would be as soon as I open my eyes, I would have that feeling in my chest of anxiety, very physical. And then because I didn't know what had caused it, because I've literally just opened my eyes from a peaceful sleep, then I would think, what's making me anxious? And then I would feed myself every single anxious thought to try and pinpoint what it was. All I used to do was make me feel more anxious. And yeah, I was like it for a long time. And thankfully, thank God, touch wood, God bless my therapists over the years. I just actually haven't got it anymore. I still get obviously a little bit anxious, but it's always over something that I can understand. And it never consumes me anymore. So obviously, I've got loads of tips about that. Obviously, just message me if you want them. But because of that, I really started to do a morning routine because I never want to go back to waking up feeling anxious. And all this stuff makes me feel better. So this is on a good day. And I will say I haven't done every single thing this week because if I don't wake up in like early enough, I don't have the time to. And, you know, life happens. So this isn't every morning, but in an ideal world, this is how I start my day. I set my phone on like a sleep cycle. So after a certain time until the morning, I don't get notifications unless like I scroll up and see I'm here. But they wouldn't show on my screen. And that's really important so that when I wake up in the morning, I don't check my phone. I don't see notifications. Like if you need me in an emergency, God help you. If you need somebody to come and get you like ASAP, don't let me be your first point of call because you're going to have to ring me. I don't know how many times to break through my do not disturb settings. It's really bad. I'm like, ring me if you need me, but I won't be contactable in case I get anxiety. So I wake up, I don't check my phone. The first thing I do is meditate. Look, I'm not amazing at it. I've been doing it now since lockdown and I don't know if I can do it, but what I will say is I do think it helps me not be so reactive, which I think is like the whole point of it, to be more present. And what I will say is through doing it now for like nearly 4 years on and off, during it I'm still not great, I don't think. I don't transcend into another world. I'm not like a big yogi person or anything like that. But I will say now, if I'm in a situation, 8 times out of 10, maybe 7 times out of 10, I can stop myself from like getting to a really like angry level or like a really stressed out level. I think I'm getting a lot better at trying to pull it back. So I do think it helps towards that. So I meditate. I either do a Calm app one, which is like 10 minutes short, guided, really nice. Or I do play around now with Dr. Joe Dispenza because he's all about like positive thinking and manifestation. So you can watch one of those on YouTube. Then straight away I write a gratitude list. That always puts me in a good mood because you can't be sad and grateful at the same time. You just can't. So I write out 10 things I'm grateful for and the reason why. So this comes from the book called The Secret, which I've done a few times and I absolutely love it and I always get good results from it. And sometimes you could just write 3 things. That's what I used to do, write 3 things you're grateful for. But like to really get a massive sense of gratitude, you're meant to write what you're grateful for and why. So for example, mine is usually sometimes something simple like I'm so grateful for blue skies today because I can go for a run or because it makes me feel better, something like that. I'm so grateful for my salary because I can do everything I want or because it pays for me to do what I want or because I can eat or, think like basic things. Sometimes I'll write, I'm so grateful for my sense of hearing because I love music and I love listening to the Calm app. Like they don't always have to be like massive things because when you're writing 10 a day, some days you're gonna have days where you're like, I'm so grateful that yesterday I got pregnant, or yesterday the guy I love finally asked me to move in. Like some days you'll have really big ones, but some days you're like, I'm so grateful I've got bananas in the fridge because I don't have to go shopping now. But it's all about like feeling the gratitude. So I write them out, and then you're meant to read them back and say at the end of each one, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, lol, people are going to think I'm nuts. Then at the minute, I'm doing The Secret again, or sometimes like I'll read something. Like if I'm reading something, now will be the time that I'll read something little, but that's not always. Then my new thing is affirmations. So I saw an app advertised on TikTok. It's not that good, to be fair, but you know how it does the trick. It's called 1111, and it's basically, there's only 2 available on it because they're all coming soon. But it's free, and I can't be asked to like look through stuff because I don't care enough. So it's just like 20 minutes in like a high vibe morning and like a nighttime one of affirmations. And I always see like there's girls I follow on Instagram that sometimes write these out, like I am confident, I am happy, I am abundant, all this stuff. So you can either write them out or listen to them. I usually just chuck that on in the morning whilst I'm doing my makeup. This is usually like on office days where I'm gearing myself up. So I got 20 minutes, do my makeup, have that. If it's a morning where I want to do exercise, after the gratitude list, I'll get up and I'll go for a run. I love going on a 5k run, and I always listen to a podcast, usually a positive thinking one, because I feel like in the morning is when I have read this, your morning is something like you're better or you're better, something like that, brainwaves. But it's basically like where you're more susceptible to this type of information is the morning and the night time. So in the mornings, like where I really like to feed myself with all this positive stuff, basically. And then I'll have my breakfast. My ideal is a smoothie. If you follow me on Instagram, you know the gal loves a smoothie. When I have a smoothie, I just feel so good about myself. I feel like I'm better than everyone else. I feel elite. I feel like I can't be touched. I've said this before, like I just feel so elevated when I make myself a smoothie for breakfast. I have no idea why, but it makes me feel like a different person, like I've got my shit together. And when I close my eyes and envision myself like being successful, it starts with a smoothie. I don't know why. The nighttime routine, I really want to try and get better, because my daytime routine, my morning one, locked down and loaded. And I think I'm so motivated with it, like I said, because I used to have anxiety in the morning, so I've got like a real driver. Whereas the nighttime, I used to have problems sleeping, but like I don't anymore at all, thank God. So my nighttime routine isn't the best. Like I don't have much sleep. I go to bed too late. But what I do before bed now is only basically because I got bought for Christmas. That's the only reason I'm doing it. But I got bought a really good book. It's called like the Great Book of Manifestation or something, from Vex King. It's got a blue cover, and that's just like little prompts for the day. So it's like, how are you feeling today? It asks you to like name a time you were happy, or like something like simple, like 3 lines. So I guess you could say I journal in the night, which sounds mental. I sound like such like a health guru, and I'm really not. But you know, mental health is important. So yeah, so I guess that's when I would journal. I don't do it every night, but my friend bought me an actual journal as well, with prompts and a full page to talk about. And it's nice. It does like help you wind down, I suppose, like put thoughts onto paper. I think for me it'd be more beneficial if something had happened in my day. But if I've just had a normal day, sometimes I feel like I'm writing like for the sake of it or something. So I'll write maybe like a couple of positive affirmations and that. So yeah, just for like 10 minutes. And before I go to bed now, I listen to the Calm app again. I'll put a sleep story on, or some sort of sleep meditation, something like that, and then I'll go to sleep. So yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. If you've got any questions about anything, then let me know. You know I love chatting to you guys. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Please remember to subscribe and follow. And yeah, have a good week, and I'll speak to you next Tuesday.